Paris is deeply rooted in French culture. While international talent and innovation are now encouraged, Paris still holds tightly to its traditions, influencing everything from language use to work-life balance and startups. This mix of heritage and innovation draws founders to Paris. Unlike international hubs like Amsterdam, Paris resists full global integration, remaining proudly French first in both business culture and daily operations. Amsterdam, by contrast, embraces internationalization. English dominates business, and startups scale globally from day one. The Dutch work culture is flat and direct, which accelerates decision-making. Paris, on the other hand, maintains hierarchy and tradition. During our visit, we saw this contrast firsthand through French tech initiatives, strong government support, and accelerators like Hello Tomorrow and Wilco.
Company together, and I would say our disruption point is trying to identify pieces that already exist but aren't really sort of in a progressive state. So that's one thing about France, is it's not as iterative as other countries. They're a bit more reserved here culturally, especially in business. And so if you take risk, which is like, I'm an American, JJ grew up in America, Jimmy grew up in the UK, so we're just used to like taking risks. I mean, that's why I think we're kind of outside the mold. We have native-born French friends who are entrepreneurs, but it's quite rare actually. Jean-Yves is from Benin.
Can you share what inspired you to begin your startup in Paris? Or in Amsterdam, because you all started your startups, your companies in Paris, correct? Okay. So what inspired you to start here? And then how would you compare the culture here compared to other European cities or American cities you've interacted with? What barriers are there here? What ways does it like kind of allow you to flourish more?
I mean, so personally on my end, before we started like the company together, like I already had like my company here in as well. I actually had the chance to work in startups in France before starting, so I kind of see how the whole business and corporate side looks like over here, which is very tied to what he said. But what made me like jump to leave here in Paris is at the time you had Macron, the president, who was very outgoing in the ecosystem, like investing in French tech, and really trying to, I would say, reach that Silicon Valley level. And that was like true at the beginning. There was a lot of fundraising going around, and that really motivated me in some sort of way. But you fast forward 4 years, 5 years down the line, the culture fell. So the main problem today is France needs to change. So that's tied to the barriers that you're saying. They need to change their, I would say, their fiscal regulations. So you have a lot of fiscal pressure as a company, and that's like that's my downside. So starting a company here is like it's very heavy administrative. Employees cost you a lot of money.
So, okay, can you describe how you've been impacted by this brain drain? One, and then second, because we talked about this yesterday. Second is, do you have any like predictions or assumptions on what might happen with like U.S.'s now, like the big beautiful bill, like Trump's new law? Are you?
For me, just regarding the brain drain. Is I've launched the other half of my business is only US, and like 50% of our income more is actually coming from the US. So I just fuck France.
Oh really?
Okay. My new business is US. So I was CFO for quite a while. And what I saw is what he just said. It's a joke, but it's not a joke. It comes down to it's a market. You have to have the best talent. So it's going to cost you money. Another portion of it is that Paris is expensive compared to a lot of cities, like a lot of cities around Europe. So I think salaries cost more here, but if you compare to the US, it's cheaper.
Completely.
So what I'll say is my US clients will pay 3x what the people in like the best French tech companies can pay. So we have a few US clients who are hiring in Paris because they basically like bought out a company in Paris. And they'll tell us, okay, we have 250, we have 300K for an engineer. They have very high expectations because some of the top engineering schools in the world are in Paris. But you compare that to a French company who makes French money, they can only offer 85 to 90. So they can't compete.
Still, Paris faces challenges. Entrepreneurs often struggle to raise funding beyond the seed stage, pushing many to the US for capital. Firms like Mistral AI pursue Silicon Valley investment while keeping technical teams in France. This hybrid model allows them to leverage American funding, French engineering, and global remote talent, creating globally minded companies grounded in Parisian roots.